morning. Good morning. Today's the 27th of June and it's a Saturday. It's only 7:40 in the morning and I am on my way back to the service place, whatever it's called. The service station. I don't know. What is it called? What do they call it? It's vehicle service. Oh, the dealership. The service section of the dealership. I trusted that they would have at least told me what the maintenance required like means. If I pay $150 to get it diagnosed, wouldn't you at least tell me why I have a maintenance required light on still? And if you aren't going to answer your phone, I guess I'm going to come down and talk to you in person, because I just signed a really big stack of papers and dummy me, I didn't think to double check what papers I signed. What was that big stack? So I guess maybe I may have signed my life away, but if they want me as a happy customer, they better explain to me what happened. I am not one of those cranky customers. I'm not one of those ones that like to fly off the handle and be unreasonable. But I do have a little bit high expectations, I suppose, if we pay for something and don't get it. My kids think I'm too much. My kids think that I'm a little bit too snippy when it comes to my expectations of other customer service reps. If other customer service reps, such as someone in the drive-thru that's supposed to be helping me, or a waiter, or okay, it's a lady at the big sporting goods store the other day. I asked her a point-blank question. I said, if I purchase these items from your store and they do not fit because they were clothing items, can I return them for cash? And she said, as long as it's not equipment, you can make a return. And I go, for cash? And she says, as long as it's not in equipment, you can return them. And I said, for cash. Like, don't ask me if I can exchange. We do exchanges, yeah, if it's for equipment. And I go, wait, you're not answering the question. These clothing items, I can return them and get a full refund, right? Like I said, and then she like snips back at me. If it's not equipment, and I'm like, oh my flipping gosh, lady, I know this is not equipment, is it? You know, and I just was like, you know what, thank you, bye. And I put the clothes back and I did not buy the clothes. Because I understand what she's saying. If it's equipment, it's going to be an exchange. But she never confirmed that they would even honor a full refund of clothing if the maximum size of their sports bras, that's what I was trying to buy, didn't fit me. I can't exchange it for a bigger size if they don't have a bigger size. And I don't want to credit in the store because I don't shop in their store. So I'm like, she wouldn't give me a point blank answer, and I could tell she was getting snippy, and my mom was with me. So I just put them back and I got mad, and my mom's like, the bras, you know, like, you're supposed to get them. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I don't want them that badly, especially when I'm pretty sure they won't fit anyway. So why am I going to bother? I'll wait to find something I know will fit. And she was like, Crystal, she wasn't rude at all. And I said, I don't hate her attitude about it, you know. And she wasn't rude at all. And I'm like, Mom, I know a customer service rep when I see one. I do that to customers when they won't freaking listen to me and I have to repeat myself. I know what that's like. I know what that's like. I know what that's like. And maybe my customer wanted it to be said a specific way too. But I didn't have to be rude to my customers, so I know she didn't have to be rude to me. I could have explained it another way to the customer and maybe come to some sort of middle ground with the customer. I'm not saying the exact same thing over and over again. I understand when someone's being facetious. Isn't that the word? Facetious. Woo! Where did all that come from? Can you tell I'm on a whatever this is? Guess I'm warming up. I'm getting hyped up, adrenaline or something. Because I'm ready to go box some people if they don't want to freaking fix this maintenance required light. I gotta go get my car emission. We're going on a trip in a few days. If I don't freaking do this, not only will I hear from it from my husband, but then I'm gonna have to deal with it. And I don't want to have to deal with it, and I don't want to have to pay another $150 diagnostic test. Whew, okay, we're gonna talk about something else, okay? That was long enough, 5.5 minutes. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about was last night. Last night, as you know, I was feeling pretty crappy, but I did something to feel pretty good. And yeah, I ended up feeling pretty good, but I really don't like the way it feels when I'm feeling pretty good. I know, I'm hard to please, aren't I? Because when I'm feeling pretty good, I can't freaking control my thoughts. Like, it's like, woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, why the heck am I doing this? Why do I do this to myself? It's so much nicer to at least volunteer what I'm thinking instead of just, I feel like I completely dissociate when I'm feeling good. Like, where do I go? I'm like lost in there somewhere. What's going on? And that's like common, right? Everybody feels that way. It's not something you can really call disassociating in its truest form, when of course you had something to help get it to that state. What I'm trying to say though is, I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling of not choosing my thoughts and being deliberate with it and intentional and pushing myself to get through to the other side. Not letting go and being whatever. I really didn't like it very much. And then Kaylin was so dang adorable, and I was a heck of a lot more loving to her than I've ever been. Mainly because I was feeling good, but also because I love the heck out of that little girl, and I've not been very good at expressing love any other time, I guess. I'm not a very loving, expressing person when I'm depressed, and I've been depressed for a very long time. And you know what else it is? I've got a protector noodle, I'll call it. I got a protector part of myself that will not let me get close to people, even people I feel close to. I feel close to Kaylin and her family. We've known those guys for a long time, and they've been gone for, they moved 2 summers ago. So we've seen them and kept in touch with them, and we still miss them, and she's spending the night at our house. It's like, yeah, this is a special relationship that Brooklyn has with this little girl. So yeah, I feel close to her, and I don't like to allow myself to get close to people, because then I can get extremely heartbroken when things don't work out the way I hope. So I am kind of nervous about that. I noticed that. But last night I let my guard down, and I allowed myself to get close, and I got really sweet and comfortable with her because I was feeling good. And what I mean by that, it's just like being like her mother, and loving her, and being very kind to her, and telling her how awesome she is and how pretty she is. And I taught her some piano songs last night. Both songs. Heart and Soul I taught her last summer on the piano so she could play it with my daughter. And then Brooklyn was so darling. She was learning the guitar for the first time in 2 years when we got her, or her grandparents got her the guitar for Christmas, and she wanted it badly 2 years ago, but the minute she started practicing and learning, she just gave up on herself. But now that Kaylin was learning the piano, Brooklyn's trying to learn the guitar, and she's hurting her fingers and complaining how bad her fingers hurt. I'm like, yeah, that's part of practicing the guitar. Sorry, Charlie. And she just was enjoying herself while Kaylin's playing. She's pushing herself. Kaylin's always been a great little influencer to push my daughter. She's the reason why my daughter started getting good grades. She's the reason why my daughter started running cross country. She's the reason why my daughter cleaned her room for several hours yesterday and the day before, because she wanted to have a little friend spend the night in a clean room. Like, this little girl motivates my daughter. I think my daughter is in love with her, and not in a sexual or intimate type of way, but like, when love is real, just love. When love is just like, man, I love you. You can love your girlfriend, you know, without being lesbian. You can love her and like, wow, I really love this connection we have, this bond we have. And they really do love each other the way best friends should. You know, I've never had that. Never. I thought I did a couple of times. I get a little too attached, I guess. I get a little too clingy, and now I'm coming from that consciousness, and I need to pay attention to where I'm headed for this service thing. Anyways, I ended up falling asleep on the girls. They snuck out of my room, making loud noises on the piano and music and all that, and so they were just so adorable. And I ended up falling asleep on them, and now they're on the couch now they're on the couch sleeping like they're like they probably went to bed at 6 in the morning. Oh, I'm sure they had the best time that they could. And yeah, Jim, I don't know, Jim's very, I don't want to talk about him. I'm not in the mood to talk about him. I wrote something this morning about love addiction, and how it's not really love addiction, it's more like oxytocin addiction and dopamine addiction, and how we can curb our addiction by not only staying away from our person we're addicted to, but also not getting it from other sources, like attaching yourself to friends, or, you know, binge watching TV, or, you know, drugs or alcohol. You know, your addictions should be, you know, it's a high dopamine, something that validates, you know, all the time. So anyway, I'm gonna go inside, so I gotta go put on my bad mama face, whoever that is. I gotta figure this out. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Put a national service history on it, which actually you're not allowed to have. So. And then today I did a copy of the thing, so that's why it seems like it's a book, but it's the exact same thing.
Okay.
Awesome. Really, it's not horrible. I mean, you know, it's 12 years old, 160,000 miles on it.
Right.
So it needs tires. Needs an alignment. The tires are old. You got some that are, the tread's okay, but they're over 5 years old. Then you got 2 tires that are a little thinner. 6s, and then the other ones are 8s, but they're past 5 years old, so I have to recommend them past 5 years old.
Yeah, it's on the to-do list.
The left front axle's leaking. The axle boot itself. Need an alignment. Cabin air filter's dirty. Brake brakes are getting closer at 4 millimeters, so you're going to need those as well. Hood struts don't work. They fall down. And then, of course, the wiper blades. And the wipers, you know, you got 3 plus the rear. So
right.
Overall, not all that bad. Okay. I did put some prices in here for takeoff tires. Now you said they're on the list. It's kind of a no-brainer because they are super inexpensive. These are what I put on my truck. I actually love them. They last quite a bit. I don't drive that much, so for me, they're perfect.
$600 for all 4?
Installed. And these are the same thing. These are takeoffs. These are Grand Treks. These are a little better tire than these. They're going to last you 35,000 miles if you drive out, you know. Hey, for the money, I'm all about it. Okay. So, we normally have those. You're paying by plastic, I'll do it right here.
All right. I don't know if I mentioned this before when I was recording earlier, but I'm filming this way because my phone can't turn while it's in that phone holder on the window. I just got my oil changed and my light is gone on the car. It's still the 27th of June. 1 second, please. I'm in the drive-thru at McDonald's. Thank you. I'm getting your food, okay? Okay, thanks. I got my frappe. I used to get these all the time, especially when I was pregnant with my daughter. It was my favorite thing in the world. And I treated myself all the time because I felt like I deserved it. You shouldn't treat yourself with calories though. That's not a good thing. That's self-love right there. I love myself so much that I treat myself with calories. Anyway, I didn't throw a fit. I was just super inquisitive and a little pushy if I had to be, and I got the guy at the Toyota to admit that there was a miscommunication on their end twice, and so he admitted to making mistakes. Thank you. You too, thank you. And then on my way home, after getting the oil changed and realizing that they didn't do a multi-point inspection on my vehicle like I was expecting they were going to do, because they didn't initially understand, or they didn't capture the request of my oil change, because that's what I did. I don't know if I explained that in the last video, but I explained that my oil change was I requested an oil change, and then I also said that I'm sure they're going to find something, so I'd like to get it diagnostic tested as well. And she obviously didn't put in that first request, even though I left 3 messages over the previous 3 days asking them to call me back about an oil change I'd like to schedule. Nobody called me back about those 3. That reminded me when I was sitting there waiting. I waited there for an hour and a half before they squeezed me in because they recognized their mistake, and I didn't get any fancy discounts or anything. But anyway, what am I saying? I'm saying it's interesting because while I was waiting and I'm scrolling mindlessly through Facebook and disassociating that way, it's super interesting how stoned I'm still. I'm still stoned. Sorry, I'm just going to say it. I'm still stoned. If you watched the previous video, I wouldn't dare say it, but I am stoned. I'm still stoned. I took it around 7 o'clock last night, and I'm still stoned, and it's almost 10. And then I'm going to go get my hair dyed. It's going to be put on in a couple of hours. What? Yeah, I'm kind of going a little crazy. I do recognize that my codependency and love addiction, whatever this is, my emotional abuse that I've experienced, has caused me to have some sort of identity crisis, because I'm talking noodles, I'm chopping off my hair, I'm deleting all my Facebook friends, I'm dyeing my hair blonde today, I moved out of my husband's bedroom and into my own bedroom, I'm bawling and crying and being completely hysterical at work. Not like that. Don't exaggerate, Crystal. I never bawled and cried and was hysterical at work. I'm bawling and crying and hysterical at home while I'm working from home, but nobody's seeing that. So don't try to make it sound like you're causing scenes at work. No, nobody knows that I'm having emotional breakdowns because of my job. Nobody knows that. My husband might know a little bit about it because he's kind of getting some of the brunt. My mom kind of hears about it. I talk about it on here a couple times and on Marco Polo, but I don't talk about how dramatic I'm being at home while I'm working. My kids, they see that I'm snapping at them because of work. This is not like me. I'm definitely going through some sort of identity, mental breakdown, health crisis. I never go to McDonald's. I hate going to McDonald's. McDonald's is like my, I'm not saying that. I don't know who the heck I am anymore. I just know that we didn't have cereal at the house, and we've got her friend over, and it's only for the one day, and let's just kind of make it special, because I don't know what my kids would eat if I didn't have some cereal. Don't have cereal and don't have anything else to make. I guess I could have made eggs. I don't know. Anyway, I'm giving them McDonald's this morning, and I'm treating myself to something I used to treat myself to all the time. I think I'm kind of going a little stony crazy. I don't ever get stoned either. This is all a new thing for me. You can tell that I'm not stable. I think letting all these noodles out really shows that I'm not stable. But they were coming out anyway. I was falling apart before recognizing that my noodles were coming out. I was falling apart, that I couldn't hold my noodles back anymore. So yeah, the town of Crystal has gone a little crazy because of all the noodles that are not happy. My noodles don't feel honored. I even got them little minion toys. They're little surprise balls. They're going to be excited about that. I'm a cool mom right now. I got McDonald's, I got my frappe, I got my minion balls. I'm going to go get my hair dyed. Is it an identity crisis, or is Crystal discovering who she is? I'll let you decide on that. I'm trying to figure it out, and I haven't settled on anything yet. We'll see.